Along from performing kitchen duty and earning his GED, inmate P50522 shared a bunk with Timmons, Sugar Bear, Big Al, and Figueroa Slim. He is the frontrunner to win Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars on Sunday. The greatest incredible comeback in Hollywood would be completed if Robert Downey Jr. wins a little bald gold man for his portrayal of the cunning Louis Strauss in Oppenheimer. During his protracted battle with narcotics, Downey Jr., often known as RDJ to his friends, was sentenced to 3 years in prison back in 1999. Only a very small number of people, including his childhood friend Rob Lowe, still had faith in him. "I always thought I was going to be the first person in my Santa Monica history class to win an Oscar, turns out it's going to be Downey," Lowe said to Page 6 this week, "and I'm so happy right now." The 58-year-old Downey has been clean for many years and has been very transparent about his previous problems. He likened going to prison to being sent to a distant planet where there is no way home until the planets align, as he said to Dax Shepard in June of last year. He dated Sarah Jessica Parker and initially rose to stardom in the 1980s with hits like Weird Science and The Pickup Artist. However, his career collapsed following his 1993 Oscar nomination for Chaplin. Page 6 was informed by a longtime friend of Downey that Downey's road to sobriety was a rocky one. "It was a very small handful of people that stood by his side, that much is true. It involved 2 close pals. Yes, this is a real-life Hollywood tale. They adore placing you at the pinnacle to humiliate you, then watch you climb back up and provide you with a small entrance to re-enter and a route to atonement," the insider claimed. The actor received a 3-year probationary sentence and was mandated to submit to a mandatory drug test after his initial arrest in 1996 for possession of heroin, cocaine, and an unloaded .357 caliber Magnum. A year later, Downey spent almost 4 months in the Los Angeles County Jail after refusing to take a drug test. Deborah Falconer, his first wife, divorced him. In August 1999, he was sentenced to 3 years in jail after failing another drug test. He spent the majority of the following year in Corcoran, California's state prison. In 2000, when Vanity Fair questioned him if he had experienced sexual assault while incarcerated, he said that for some, it was perfectly respectable to partner up with another inmate if you were a lifer. He stated, "I can neither confirm it nor deny it," in a different interview before eventually denying any assault. On his podcast, Armchair Expert, Downey said to Shepard, "You could just feel the evil in the air, and that was no trouble at all because it was kind of like just being in a really bad neighborhood. There was no opportunity there. All that was present were threats." Before being locked up, one of the more unsettling stories included an inebriated Downey walking into a neighbor's home and collapsing in a bed. He remarked to Shepard, "I'm going to attempt to give you the flashcards, I'm in court, the judge is getting irritated," and he shouted something in Latin at some point. "I believe that he was enchanting me." Downey claimed that spending 2 weeks in jail helped him adjust, despite the fact that it was one of the worst things that had ever happened to him. "It is unlikely that you will be targeted if you are eager to cause harm." He stated, "It really comes down to the distinction between being wanting to do harm and just behaving like you're eager to do harm." He even had the opportunity to meet Leslie Jordan, an actor from Will and Grace, who was imprisoned in 2000 for driving under the influence. Jordan, who passed away in October 2022, remembered that they would always have 152, Pod A, Cell 13, top bunk, even though they had to switch beds. He was freed early in August 2000, but was detained again during Thanksgiving weekend on suspicion of possessing cocaine and Valium and being under the influence of drugs. This time, he was not given a longer jail sentence. In April 2001, he was apprehended by Los Angeles police on drug-related charges when they discovered him in an alleyway. He was sent to treatment after losing his job on the popular television show Ally McBeal as a result. Downey depended on friends before he met his second wife, film producer Susan Levin, whom he refers to as his bedrock, touchstone, and lucky stars. These friends included Mel Gibson, who hired him for The Singing Detective in 2003, and his former agent Ed Limato, who passed away in 2020. The two had previously worked together in the 1990 film Air America. In 2012, Downey disclosed at an American Cinematheque ceremony in Los Angeles, "I was unable to secure employment, so he cast me as the lead in a movie that was actually developed for him." He also maintained food on the table. After Gibson was arrested for drunk driving in 2006 and told a police officer, "Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world," Downey supported Gibson, turning him into a Hollywood outsider. "Unless you're completely without sin," he said, urging his colleagues to pardon his friend. Then, he joked, "In which case you picked the wrong King industry." Playing the superhero Tony Stark in the 2008 film Iron Man, he achieved box office triumph. It generated a $5 billion Marvel franchise and made $100.8 million in its first weekend of release. Downey earned additional millions of dollars from Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes films. "I don't think Downey will be emotional at the Oscars. I'll tell you what was more emotional, the opening weekend going into Iron Man," the Downey insider stated. "Addicts don't always welcome opportunities, so you have to be cautious when they present themselves. Downey is a commodity, and many others are trying to profit off him. A lot of studios will come rushing at you if you breed success. You have to feed a lot of mouths. These men also never seem to be pleased. If you're not attractive, they won't bother you. After all, this is the entertainment industry, and business is king." He didn't even run for the 2009 Oscar when he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Tropic Thunder. In Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker earned him the prize posthumously. Oppenheimer was also directed by Nolan. Regarding his private life, Downey married Susan in a lavish Hamptons wedding in 2005 that included performances by Sting and Billy Joel. He and Falconer have a 30-year-old son named Indio. Son Exton, 12, and daughter Avery, 9, are shared by the couple. He has Susan's blessing, the Downey insider stated. With a series of witty remarks, Downey has so far won a Golden Globe, a SAG Award, and a BAFTA for Oppenheimer. He cited a number of critical assessments of his work when he accepted the Critics' Choice Award. One was a haiku, according to him, sloppy, messy, and lazy. Another person likened his act to Pee Wee Herman waking up from a coma. A British reviewer who referred to him as a puzzling waste of talent was also referenced by Downey. In one last review, a writer described Downey as amusing as a bedlocked fart, to which Downey responded, "Lingered. He's pretty much the smartest guy in the room. He's very fun, very irreverent, that's how his brain works." The Downey insider continued, "Having the freedom to choose which employment to accept is good, you will know you've won at that point. After all," the insider continued, "you can't not love the guy, he's adorable."